Section 7 of Harper's Young People, Volume 1, Issue 6, December 9th, 1879. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Betty B. Harper's Young People, Volume 1, Issue 6, December 9th, 1879. The Royal Fern. A legend has been handed down from the time of the Danish invasions of Britain, explanatory of the generic name of Osmunda, an island covered with large specimens of this fern, figuring prominently in the story. Osmund, the ferryman of Loch Tyne, had a beautiful child who was the pride of his life and the joy of his heart. In those days, when the merciless Danes were making their terrible descents upon the coasts of Great Britain, slaughtering the peaceful inhabitants and pillaging wherever they went, no man could say how long he would be free from molestation and outrage. But Osmund, throughout the troublous times, had lived quietly in his country home with his wife and beautiful daughter. The peaceful calm of his life was, however, destined to be broken. One evening the ferryman was sitting with his wife and child on the margin of the lake after his day's work. The setting sun was tinging with roseate glow the fleecy banks of cloud piled up against the horizon, silvering the surface of the rippling lake and adding a richer hue to the golden locks of Osmund's darling child. Suddenly the sound of hurrying footsteps startled the quiet group. Men, women, and children came hastening from the neighboring village, and breathlessly, as they passed, they told the ferryman that the terrible Danes were coming. Quick as thought, Osmund sprang to his feet, seized his wife and child, and hurried them into his ferryboat. Away he rowed with them, pulling for very life, in the direction of a small island in the loch, densely covered with the tall and stately fronds of the royal fern. He quickly hid his precious charges amongst the clustering fronds, and then rowed rapidly back to his ferry place. He had rightly divined that the Danes needed his assistance and would not hurt him. For many hours of the ensuing night he worked with might and main to carry the fierce invaders across the ferry. When they had all disappeared on the opposite bank, Osmund returned to his trembling wife and child, and brought them safely back to his cottage. In commemoration, it is said, of this event, the fair daughter of Osmund gave the great island fern her father's name. Those who care not to accept this fanciful origin of the name Osmunda will perhaps incline to another suggestion which has been made, that the generic name had been derived from an old Saxon word signifying strength, the specific name indicating its royal or stately habit of growth. Traveling Bag for Pets. Little girls who like to carry their pets with them on a journey will be glad to know how to make this pretty and convenient bag, by means of which Fido and Mutt can travel like princes. The bag is made of black leather and is closed on the side with a lock and key and clamps. The pocket for holding the dog is 15 inches wide and 9 inches and a half high. The front is cut out, leaving a margin on the edges 1.5 inches wide, and the opening is filled with a wire screen, through which the little prisoner can see and breathe freely. For protection, the screen is covered by 2 leather flaps, fastened one at the bottom and one at the top of the bag, which overlap each other and are secured by steel clasps. Our Post Office Box. We do not print all letters received, as some are too long, and others simply ask a question to which we give an answer. Here is a pretty letter which needs no comments. I am a little boy, 11 years old, and have been living in South Carolina, but last summer I got hurt while playing with the boys, and have been sick ever since. I have not walked for 5 months. My parents have brought me to Salem, Massachusetts, where I could have good doctor's care. My cousin, who lives in New York, very kindly sends me Harper's Young People, and I want to tell you how much I enjoy it. I am very lonely lying still all the time, but the boys come to see me, and one of them has 2 rabbits for me when I am able to take care of them. I wish all the little boys and girls could have your paper. It is so nice. Horace F. Hutchinson. Fred of Montclair, New Jersey, writes, I have a handsome yellow cat named Goldie. My cousins Howard and Charlie have a cat named Blackie, and a dog named Jack. Papa reads us Harper's Young People every Sunday, and I like it very much. Here are some very pleasant words from J. E. Woodbridge, Duluth, Minnesota. I wish to tell you how I like your paper. I do really like it. I wish you would put boys' pieces in the paper for speaking in school. I live in Duluth on the shore of a very big lake, the biggest in the world, I think. I am 7 years old. I have a little yellow dog, and he grins when he is pleased. James Long. The examination for admission to the schoolship St. Mary's are easily passed by any schoolboy of moderate ability, but it is indispensable that the applicant be physically sound and of good moral character. Neither money nor influence is needed to gain admission, and the expense on entering is confined to the cost of outfit and uniform. You can make fuller inquiries of David R. Wetmore, Esquire, Chairman of the Committee on Nautical School of the New York City Board of Education, or on board the St. Mary's, which is now in winter quarters at the foot of East 23rd Street, New York City. C.D.F. The measurement of glasses for boys' telescope refers to the focus, not to the size of glass. Any reliable optician will supply you with the lenses. Agnes P. Your answers to puzzles are correct. We do not know the address of Lulu W., but will print it if she will send it to us. Louise, Dubuque. Your account of Sir Rowland Hill is correct and very neatly written, but as it is almost the same as those we have already printed, we do not give it. Max. Your numerical charade is very good, but contains too many repetitions of the same letter to be perfect. Therefore, we do not print it. Answers sent by R. Dunlop Foster, Chicago, to mathematical puzzles are correct, with the exception of number 2, which is not carried back to the original amount possessed by the poor old man when the water spirit made his first offer. M.A.C. Rochester writes, I have commenced taking your little paper, and I write now to tell you that I am delighted with it. I read it to my brothers and sisters, who are very much interested in the story of The Brave Swiss Boy. J.E.B. Another bright little girl gives us a scolding, which we hope she will retract before long. H.A.T. We cannot give any puzzles not accompanied by full name and address of the sender, as well as the answers. The following communication from a youthful reader in Washington, D.C., will be of interest to young bicyclists in other cities. Here in the city of magnificent distances, where many of the streets are 100 feet wide and the avenues 160, the speed of the bicycle surpasses even that of the horse. Many of the streets are concrete, and a run over them is sure to be attended with boundless pleasure and often a race. There are about 30 bicyclists in the city, 20 of whom have formed a club. To see them, with their blue caps and leather leggings, 6 abreast, coming down the avenue with their arms folded, causes many an equestrian to spur up his horse in vain. Through the surrounding villages it is a common occurrence to see 8 or 10 bicyclists pass, especially on public holidays. Many riders have a small bell attached to the handle, which is rung as an alarm to pedestrians, for the approach of the bicycle is as devoid of noise as that of the tiger. In the evening a lantern also is hung on the axle of the driving wheel between the spokes, and the noiseless and rapid approach of such a red light might suggest to a stranger thoughts of the infernal regions. In conclusion, I will say that bicycling is the most exhilarating and invigorating pastime for boys ever yet discovered. N. L. C. End of Section 7.